All right, boys, and possibly one girl. We'll give you a little update on the car. I haven't been touching it lately. I've just been doing other things. Um, so I have been struggling ever since I took the head off and put a thinner gasket on. I keep blowing the gasket. Basically, as soon as I go and try to make a full pull, I push a little bit of coolant. Um, so I'm gonna have to change some things. This is the gasket that was originally on um, before I pulled it apart, and it didn't have any issues. You see the nice seal ring around every cylinder. No issues. It's not blowing into the coolant passages or anything. And then this was the JE Pro Seal that I put on for a little bit. That one over there is a Cometic. And you see it's pushed out here and right here on that gasket. You can kind of see it. It's hard to see, but you can see where the exhaust gas is actually getting out there, and a little bit here and there as well. So anyway, that gasket blew. Probably this. I was doing some tuning on that gasket. I had to revise the tune, and then once because I had the 2200 cc injectors on there as well. And so I was doing a bunch of, like second and third gears on low boost and just getting the fuel map correct. And then as soon as I had it all pretty good, I did a full pull, all the way through fourth gear, and I had my computer with me. I was logging, and I could see that as soon as I started slowing down or whatever, I could see that the temperature was rising pretty quickly. So I pulled over real quick, and it had pushed coolant all over the engine bay. So I knew that the gasket was done, so I took it home, parked it, grabbed another gasket, and put it in there. That's what's in there right now. So the JE Pro Seal is a 0.33 33 thousandths head gasket thick. The old gasket that was originally on the car was a 0.50, and standard factory gasket is a 0.30. So I was running a 0.50 because of the piston. If you watched my bottom end build video, or even the breakdown video, I put a picture of it. When you're doing the D15B with the D16 rods, it sticks the piston out of the cylinder just a little bit, like 0.6 of a millimeter. And this is what it looks like when it's not. Like, I have another block here. This is a D15B7 block, I believe, with D15 rods and Vitara pistons. So you can see, like right there, that's top dead center, and you can see how it sits. It sits 3 millimeter below the deck height, where this combination that's in the car now, it sits almost a little over half a millimeter over the deck height. So that's why I was using a 50 thousandths head gasket to make up for that quench zone. I didn't want it to be so tight, but I wanted to try to bump some compression on the car, put the bigger injectors in, and turn it up, try to make some more power. So I tried with that 33 thousandths JE Pro Seal. It didn't work. It also, when I pulled that gasket off, I could see where, I guess when VTEC opens up, the cylinders 1 and 2 exhaust valves hit the piston real lightly, which I have some pictures of that, so I'll throw that in the video. And then when I had that apart, I did, just give it a quick test and make sure it wasn't leaking. Just put a little water in the chamber, or in the ports, and it held water. It was fine. So I just put it back together the way it is right now. Now it has a 0.40 thousandths Cometic gasket in it, and again, it was running fine, doing fine. I did like one full pull. It was okay. Didn't really see much going on, but I did. After I did that, I came back, and it had pushed just a tiniest bit of coolant out, but not much. and the car felt great when I did that. And then I did it one more time, and it pushed a bunch out. So it's still leaking. Most likely the head and or block are slightly warped at this point, maybe even from before, probably due to how I torque the heads. I really put a lot of torque on these bolts when I do it. So I'm gonna have to pull it all apart, and I'm gonna pull the head off, pull the block out, disassemble the block, bring the block and head to the machine shop, have them cut it, and then I may end up putting a bigger stud in it. I've been trying to find a solution for a bigger or better grade material stud. With ARP, they don't have anything really, so I think I may end up going to like a 12 millimeter versus the 10 millimeter that's in it. So I just got to find one that's the correct length, and then I'll drill the block and put new threads in it for 12 millimeter, and then I'll have to oversize the holes on the head and the gasket and bolt it down. At that point, I don't really care if it's a L19 or anything like that. If it's 12 millimeter, I'm going to get so much more clamping load just from the size difference that I don't really need it. I could just do the 12 millimeter in a standard stud if I can find one, and it'll be fine. So I'm thinking that I may end up doing that. So at least right now, anyway, I'm gonna pull this thing apart and get it ready to bring over to the machine shop. Just gonna redeck the head, and then resurface the head and redeck the block, and then we'll see what we're gonna do from there. I'll have to I'm still trying to find some stuff, but at least this way I'll have it apart. The car still runs fine right now. It's just pushing coolant. So that's it. That's where we're at right now. I did get some new wheels, which I'll drop a picture in, and I'm gonna try those when I come back. And I think that's it. That's the only thing new going on with this thing. I just haven't done much with it. It's just so hot outside right now here in Florida. So hot, so humid, that I haven't really wanted to touch this car, let alone drive it. It's just way too hot. So I've been taking the vet out, doing stuff with it. I did a road race, like track day with it recently, and when I took it out, I pushed the rear main seal out of it, so I got to pull it in the garage and pull all the drivetrain out of it so I can do a rear main seal. So I got projects on top of projects to do, so I'll do them. It's just hot, just don't want to, but got to get them done. Got to make some more videos. I really want to make this car go 9-second pass, so that's why I got the new wheels. They're 23-inch wheels. 23-inch wheels. They're BMS Racing, and we'll see. That should help me get a little better 60-foot, which I need to do to get this pass I want to do, and then we'll see what I'm gonna do from there. I was thinking that I was gonna turn the boost up and just basically let it eat on this turbo. But I'm thinking I may actually just put a little bit of nitrous on it to help with coolant temp, or not coolant temps, air temps anyway. So right now I have a pretty crappy intercooler, so if I'm going to turn the boost up to say 40-45 pounds of boost, I'm going to get some really hot intake temps, where if I leave it where it's at now at say 30 pounds of boost and then put a dry shot on there, 70, 100 shot, whatever, I'm going to get some really nice air temps since I'm putting nitrous in there. So that's going to help keep my air temps down, and I won't have to push the turbo so hard. So I'm thinking I might do that, and I could set all that up in the Neptune like I did with that the Type R Civic. Same setup I can do on this car. So I've got plenty of injector. I'm only at like 40% duty cycle. So thinking I might do that. That'll be a nice little combination. So that's where I'm at. I'm gonna get this thing ripped apart, and then I'll show you what the parts look like when we get in there. all apart. Just gotta these nuts off real quick. Pick this thing up and see what it's doing. Probably leaking in the same spot between 2 and 3 is where it was leaking before, so probably doing the exact same thing. All right. Heads off. Take a look at the gasket here. See if we can see where it was leaking. Doesn't look like it was leaking on the head size. Looked like it was leaking on the block side. Looks like it might be a little bit of warpage right here. So I'm gonna say it's probably there. I'll be able to see it on the back side. And you can still see a little bit of discoloration there on that cylinder too. So again, I mean, this gasket wasn't on there for very long, so I didn't really expect to see a lot of damage. I didn't want to leave it on there and keep making pulls and damage it, but it looks like it's blowing through here again, same spot, 2 and 3. Same spot as the JE Pro Seal, so looks like we're just warped a little bit. You can actually see it inside there between the layers. It's a little burnt, so it's definitely getting through that gasket on both of those. Oh, and that one as well. So just very lightly on that one, but it was getting through. So anyway, yeah, you can see that warpage on that bottom gasket there. Alright, well, simple enough. I mean, it's a little bit of a pain because I'm going to have to pull this thing apart, but you know, not the end of the world. It's pretty simple. I'll just I'll pull this block out and bring it to the machine shop. I'll have to disassemble it, take the rods and crank and everything out of it, so that I can get it cut, but not that big a deal. I'd rather do that than keep playing with these gaskets. The single cams are just known for heads having trouble sealing anyway. It's because of their, you know, the stud size is just so small, and nobody makes a real strong stud. So really, you need a bigger stud, or the surface needs to be absolutely perfect. So no big deal. We'll get it cleaned up, get it fixed, and we'll get back out there and do it all over again. Alright, everything's unbolted. I'm gonna pull this thing out real fast and get it off to the side. Get it off to the side, and then probably disassemble it later, maybe Wednesday or something. I don't know, maybe I'll do it later today. I don't feel like doing it right now. Just gonna pull it out real fast and clean up my mess. Alright, so
I unbolt everything. You unbolt the side post mount, and then these motors aren't really that heavy, so I just pick them up, pull them out. Still got some water in it, but it's all right. Clutch doesn't want to let go. Alright. Well, it normally comes off easier than this, but today it's not playing nice. Well, it's slightly stuck on the pilot bearing, apparently. Get it off. I think. There she is. All right. Alright, so anyway, I do it that way, even though that was a little bit of a fight today. Do it that way because I can leave the tranny mounted. And axles in, everything in. Just comes out through the top. And not really a big deal. Whew. That wore me out. Alright, well, here she is. Alright, so obviously motor's out of the car. I ripped it apart. Checked everything out. Everything looks great. Actually, all the bearings, pistons, everything looks fine. I was thinking that I would probably pull this thing apart and then this lens is all dirty. And then maybe get a new set of bearings and whatnot for it. But the bearings are actually really good, so I might not even touch them. So let's see if we can see these in this picture. But I mean, they have hardly anything going on, like no wear. You know, obviously pistons still look fine. All the crank and bearings, all the main bearings look fine. It's just everything looks good. So that's good. I mean, this motor's got a pretty decent chunk of miles on it now. Nothing crazy, but 5,000 or 6,000, race miles. It's not like I drive this car around. So, so the car's been apart or the motor's been apart for, I don't know, at least a week, maybe 2 weeks. I'm not even sure when I pulled this thing apart now, but I've just been working and I haven't had time to really dig into trying to figure out what I'm going to do here. So the goal or plan, not really goal, the plan is to resurface the head, deck the block, and get a different head stud solution going for this thing. So Honda, the D series, use a 10 millimeter stud, and they don't make anything like L19 or anything like that for it. I've called ARP. They want $1,500 for a custom set of head studs. I'm not doing that. I'd rather drill the block and put a different set of studs in it than pay $1,500 for a set of studs. So I'm trying to figure out what I can do. So I found out that SRT4 studs are the correct length. They're about 6 1/4, 6.5 inches long. There is some L19 options for them, but they are a more expensive option because ARP never mass produced them. But they're about $500. They're an 11 millimeter stud, like a B series. That is the correct length. So I could drill the block, time cert it for an 11 millimeter stud, and go that route. I'm also looking at a B series stud, which is an 11 millimeter stud as well, and they are about 7.5 inches long, so they're too long. So I'm gonna talk to a local company about cutting that stud down and then rethreading it so that it can be used with a D series, and then figure out if they can do that for me. If they can do that, I might have multiple sets done because I'm sure some other people are going to want some. But in that case, I'll have to take a set of, say, like Speed Factory L19 B series studs, and then have the machine work done on them to rethread them a little further, and then use those. So if anybody else knows of any other solutions, please let me know. Share whatever info you got, and we're gonna try to make this thing hold some more boost. I'm thinking it's either gonna get more boost, more than the 31 pounds, whatever it's been running, or it's gonna get a little bit of nitrous on top of that 30 pounds. So we'll see what I end up doing, but try to make some more power and try to, on the stock sleeves, I know I can't go much more than I've been going. Obviously, if you just saw the last video, you saw that I tried swapping to a thinner gasket, didn't work, and now I'm having sealing issues since I did that. So that's why I'm pulling this thing all apart, but I needed to do it anyway because I needed to upgrade the stud to something bigger. I wasn't going to be able to go really any more boost without lifting the head anyway. It was just bound to happen. So I needed to get another stud solution in here so we can send it. Basically, either it's going to see 45 pounds of boost, or it's going to see 30 pounds of boost in a 75 shot, or whatever it's going to be. So we'll see, but for now I'm going to figure out this stud solution, and then we'll go from there. But that's it. Motor's all in pieces. Just an update for everybody. I haven't really been making videos lately, so just want to let everybody know where it's at, and we're gonna try to get some stuff going. I'll let you know along the way. I'm gonna try to document it either on YouTube or possibly on Instagram. You can follow me at TurboKenny87. Alright, thanks for watching.